Good morning, everybody. How are y'all today? My name is Donna. I live in Texas, and this is Strength and Preparedness. I am creating this video for family and friends. Hi, y'all. I have been talking to individual family members, talking to individual friends, and promising that I would start this video. And me and several family members got together and was deciding on what to name this series, I guess, this channel. And we come up with Strength and Preparedness. And it's funny because this morning I was reading the Bible, and God literally woke me up and had me read the Bible, and literally told me, he said, go read Isaiah 51. And I was like, okay. And he was like, go about 9, 10. And the very first line of Isaiah 51, verse 9 says, awake, awake, and clothe yourself with strength. O arm of the Lord, wake as in the days gone by, as in generations of old. That flabbergasted me this morning. Tells me that it's time to start doing these videos, because I have been praying about them ever since my trip to Tennessee to see family. And I talked to several family members about this, and I have started a series for deaf people. I am signing videos called Silent Prepper, and we only have 2 up now. I've got others coming, but I've been doing this. I've been praying about this and doing this for a while, praying about all this, because this has been something on my heart for years. It just was not activated, put into priorities, should I say, until about a year ago. Well, I'll take that back. It's been about 2 years now, 2.5 years now. But I need to explain to y'all, some of y'all who have not heard this story yet. When I was 9 years old, we were living in Sealy. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. We were living in Sealy, and I had a dream. Now, I'm going to tell the whole dream, because when I talked to the family in Tennessee, I did not tell them what was being said on the ham radio, because I didn't feel led to tell that part till now. So I'm in this room, and when I say room, I want to say it's like a community meeting place, like if you have what is called a MAG, or which is called a mutual assistance group, or like a tribe, which is or like a general gathering room. And there's people everywhere. There's people coming and going and stuff. But I'm standing, and directly in front of me is a man who is working a ham radio. I could not see his face. I could only see the back of his head. He has the earphones partially on and partially off his head, because we could hear what was being said on the ham radio through the speakers. And to my left, there's several older people. I'll say older. I'm going to say about 40 and older, probably 45 and older, especially the upper generation, the 70s and 80-year-olds. They're over here. They're playing cards and dominoes. They're talking. They're sitting in rocking chairs or around tables and stuff, talking and playing games and just being quiet. And this elderly gentleman gets up from his rocking chair, walks over to the table where the ham radio was, and he bends down and he's listening. Now on the ham radio, it was basically like a news service telling you everything that was going on, like the riots, the killings, it was basically a civil war. It talks about how many people have died, how many people have been fighting for to keep the violence out of wherever we were, and how in other cities it was like in cities. We were in a smaller town, so where there wasn't a lot of people around us. That's from what I can how I feel and how I got, what I perceive, my understanding and what's going on in the situation. I've been in there listening to the ham radio with the older man, and all of a sudden the door to my right opens, and when the door opens, you can hear the giggling and the laughter, and it's a bunch of kids walking in, and some women walking in, and you can see behind them where there's other tables and chairs in the kitchen and stuff, and so they were bringing the kids in. And I'm smiling and I'm watching them come in and everything, and several kids wave at me, and I wave back at them, and I turn my head back this way, and I wake up. The back of the man's head, and watching that elderly gentleman bend down and listen to the ham radio was the last thing I see. I feel like I don't really know the older people that was in the room. The elderly gentleman, I did not know him. The man who had the ham radio, I'm not sure if I know him. I know I said in my other videos, or I said that I don't know him, but I don't know if I know him because I can't see his face like I can everybody else. And so I had that dream again when I was 16. And like any other 16-year-old, I ignored it. I don't. I was too busy being 16. Life went on. I had it again when I was pregnant with Cassie. I was 23, 24. And then I had it again right after she was born. I didn't question God why I was having these dreams. I didn't question him. I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him nothing. I didn't ask him why. Why do I keep having these recurring dreams on something that I'm not really too sure about? When you have a newborn and you're a first-time parent, you're not thinking about your dreams. You're thinking about your child and learning how to be a mommy. I think I've only told several people about these dreams growing up. I don't know if I don't even remember if I even told anybody. But fast forward to about 2 years ago. Those of y'all who know that we live in Nebraska, and for 2 years, and we made some awesome friends, and we moved back to Texas. Well, 2 years ago, one of the friends that owned a farm, we were texting back and forth. We were talking on Messenger or email or something. We were just going back and forth. And she told me for me to start preparing, to start stocking up on food, start stocking up on things. And when she was telling me about their crop loss, how 2 or 3 years now in a row the flooding has been horrendous, the hail has destroyed crops, the wind, the tornadoes, the devastating flooding, it's just, they did not, their contract with the people who they were doing crops for, they didn't fulfill their contract, with the government or with the other food companies and other, companies and stuff. And it failed. She told me to prepare. She said, Donna, the cost of meat's going to go up. She said, there's going to be a shortage of vegetables. There's going to be a short on flour. There's going to be a short on sugar. There's going to be a short on wheat. There's going to be a run on just basic staples that you're going to need. And she said, even our soybeans failed. And she said, soybeans is one of the easiest things to grow. And she said, and that failed. She said, you really need to start stocking up. So I told her I would, and that ended the conversation. But deep inside, did it shock me that she was telling me to do this? No. Did it shock me that the weather was as bad as it is and stuff? No, it did not. Being raised in the Assemblies of God and going to Bible college stuff for a while there. What the Bible tells you about what's going to happen in the end days, how bad it gets, the famines, the not being able to feed your family, the cost of food is going to increase and you're not going to be able to get as much for your money. All of that is scripture. I started praying about it, how I was feeling and everything, and God reminded me about that dream I had when I was 9 and how many times I had had it during my lifetime. And the sense of urgency that I've only felt a couple of times in my lifetime to get this message out was so overwhelming. There's only a couple of other times that I've had to talk to people face to face, that God has had me talk to people 2 or 3 other times, face to face with them, to prepare them for what's coming. And this time was no different. The urgency was there, and I had to pray about it. I called Mom, and I told Mom, how I was feeling and stuff. And Mama will have to tell you her story of her confirmation of how I was thinking, how I was feeling. What I was given. Your mom has to tell you her confirmation about that, and that was in between her and God. And mom's prayed over it. Mom prayed about it. Mom prayed for me, and we've been, because this is not easy doing this. When God puts somebody on your heart or a situation on your heart, and you're like, well, God, what am I supposed to do with this information that I have, or this feeling, or what you've given me, the dream, and so my trip to Tennessee almost didn't happen. We had called it off and said that we were not going, and I went through a lot. I went through a grieving process of, Lord, I might not be able to get this message out like I want to, face to face. And because there were people that he had told me, you need to specifically go tell this to. And I did get to go. Thank you, Lord. We got to go, and I got to tell those who I was told to tell about the dream and what it represents and how all the research I've done and all of the preparedness and stuff that I've started doing that I've done, and I didn't realize that I was actually doing it before. I was just doing it on a smaller scale, which that sort of kind of, I don't know. I was already slowly doing the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. I just wasn't doing it consciously, should I say. I was doing it, but I was doing it. But I was able to start a notebook, leave a notebook in Tennessee. Hopefully they are going to be distributing it, making copies and distributing it. And y'all can please help with their printer, the ink for the printer. So, of what to do, what you need, how to start this stuff. I do know that one family member has already got a garden, already started the garden, doing tremendous on the garden. She's canning, she's putting up food, and I want her to know that I'm proud of you. And you probably don't know why you were even doing it in the first place. There is a big implication. There's a big reasoning why that you're feeling like this, like you are bored. You know, you like plants, you like doing this, okay. So you started a garden, and God has blessed that. God has multiplied that. God has given you a gift that I hope and pray that you teach others. I really wish I could have seen it when I was there. Because that was a big part of what you do. You know, in all my research and stuff at the beginning, after my friend from Nebraska talked to me and everything, I started doing all the research of all the flooding and stuff that she was talking about, and that Nebraska and North and South Dakota and Minnesota and all those places, how they've gone through a lot over the years, and how you can't plant on a flooded field. It takes a while for that soil to regrow and to replenish, and you have to treat that flooded field. You can't just plant it. You can't plant on it after it's flooded like that. And this has been happening for years. So, we have had the pandemic start. And with the pandemic, before it even started, you were seeing loss of vegetables on the shelves, loss of different foods that was not there. That was bare share. And then the pandemic hit, and it really should have opened your eyes of what y'all need to be preparing for. There is all kinds of ways to start stocking up without it costing you a lot of money. I really encourage you now to start getting as many canned goods as you can, because a friend of mine who works at a Family Dollar was told by the truck driver that the aluminum shortage is so severe that they won't be getting very many trucks in, very many canned goods in anymore, because until they can get it more in. There is a shortage of a lot of stuff. There's construction shortages. There is metals shortages. There is the corn shortage, which don't even get me started on that. A lot of things is happening and very fast. The riots, the violence. Some of it is about the killings by police officers, but most of them are not. They are trying to start a civil war in this country. They're trying. They're trying. What happened to George Floyd should have never have happened. At all. I have not really studied about the other ones. I haven't really read about them yet. But it's only going to get worse. This election in November, putting our country at a crossroads. It's a big crossroad. Big crossroad. And we really need to be aware. We need to be ready. We need to be prepared. Being prepared is a verb. It is an action verb. It means for you to have yourself ready, to be prepared, to get ready. So, this is what I'm telling people. You are prepared to drive your car, and you have car insurance. You have a wreck, an insurance company is going to help you. Yes, you have to pay some stuff out of pocket. You pay a deductible, yes. But they will help you pay for your car to be fixed. You have a life insurance. If someone in your family, let's say your husband dies, that life insurance will help pay for the cost of his funeral. Help pay for bills that are imminent that you need to pay. Gotta get some water. Real hot out here. When you have your preps, you can go into a grocery store and notice that there isn't several things there that you cannot get, but you know you have them at home because you've already started collecting. Let's say, for me, I started getting cases. I started getting one case of canned vegetables at a time. Butter beans, green beans, peas. I finally found a case of carrots. Finally. It took me a year, almost a year and a half, to find canned carrots here because they were going off the shelves fast. I was talking to a Kroger manager who was working that aisle that day, and where I found him, and he told me, he said, it is so hard to keep canned carrots in this store. He said, as soon as we get the truck, it's like somebody calls other people and like, oh, they got the carrots in. Everybody can make a rush on carrots. He told me, he said, we don't do this on beans. On the canned beans, he's like, people don't do that, not even during the holidays, like 4th of July and all that. He said, that's when you think we would run out of beans, and we don't. So, I get cases at a time, and I put them up. And I've already gone through, since the first case of green beans, I've already gone through a case and a half, because we eat a lot of green beans. Same thing with sweet peas. We eat a lot of sweet peas. And you go through a case and a half of sweet peas when you cook and you make you a dinner, and you have your leftovers and everything. So now that my mother is living up here with me, she lives over there. Me and her eat a lot of our meals together, a lot of breakfasts together, and a lot of dinners together and stuff. And so I am, keeping track of what we have and what we don't have to help feed us both. But I really want to start making these video logs, these videos, so where y'all can walk this journey with me. There is so much to start to do, and you would be surprised at how easy it is. Now, gardening, that's a different story. My first garden here, this did not work very well. I had my grape tomatoes did phenomenal. And when I was fighting the squirrels, fighting a stray dog that would dig up my squash, fighting the squirrels to eat my squash, they were eating, just fighting animals, bugs, stray dogs that like to dig up stuff. And the ants, I had some ants that attacked my potatoes. So me and Mom put this ant stuff in my garden, and hopefully it will kill the ants, all of it. I mean, it was bad. They were literally, when it come time to dig up some of my potatoes, the small ones, not the big ones, the small ones. But the ants were in there eating my potatoes. I was so mad. But my tomatoes did pretty good. My grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, they did pretty good. I mean, as soon as we got them off the vine, we were eating them. So they're so sweet and they're so good. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna. I should have already started planting a fall garden if I was gonna do a fall, but we have an invasion of locusts that's coming up. It's supposed to be here where I live in Texas in about October. So I told Mom, I said, I don't know if I really want to plant a garden and waste my seed with the invasion of the locusts that's here. We already starting to see the baby ones, the real baby ones appear. They said that we would, on the news, that we would be seeing them. And we are. I have an ivy that's right here on my table that I'm watching, and I'm watching my aloe vera plants and stuff. And I have mint, and I have rosemary out down here because I use rosemary a lot. And I've been keeping up with the locust report, all these that has devastated all these other countries and eating all the crops and the green and the trees, and so that's something to think about too. If you've got a garden, you need to start thinking about what stuff that you can harvest and start, trying to decide if you're going to plant a fall garden and let this locust go by, and that's something to think about. Anyway, I really want to start doing these videos so y'all can go along with me. I have started dehydrating. I have a food saver. I'm doing up meat as much as I can. I want to get t-shirts with SIP. Our thing can be SIP, Strength and Preparedness, SIP. I want to get some t-shirts made up, and I've already had several people asking me about the t-shirts for both the Silent Harvest and the Strength and Preparedness. I already had people ask me about t-shirts on both. So I am going to be looking into that. I'm going to talk to several people and see how much it would cost to start doing that. I need to ask somebody to design me a logo for both, since I am not good at that at all. I have to talk to somebody that can draw, because I cannot draw worth a flip at all. You know, I've learned a lot about myself during starting to do this. Actually taking up and doing something that I know that I should have been doing a long time ago. And actually, I've learned a lot. I learned that I've actually liked gardening. Didn't know I did. I just remember having to be being told in Sealy when Mom and Dad had that garden to go pick weeds, and I had to, you hate picking weeds as a kid, but we had the ducks, and we had the pigs, we had a few chickens, and we had a couple of animals and stuff. I missed that. I actually realized now that I'm older that I missed that. So I want y'all to come along with me and do this. Trust me, the videos will get better. I want y'all to participate. Please participate. Send me messages, stuff. Text me. Those y'all that are family and friends that have my number, text me. I'm going to be starting to can soon. Finally found rings and lids and jars, and I'm going to be dehydrating more. Need to start dehydrating apples. Putting that up. Y'all just come along with me. It's gonna be fun. Tell y'all all of the mistakes that I made, and jokes, and laughter. Me and Mom are going to the farmer's market this morning. It's a good day for her to go because it's cloudy, and